Sorry about your cat, dude. It's gonna be okay. Come on, man.
I'm gonna get the cat back. I think I'm just gonna go on a crazy fish out of water story and get him back. Filled with gang activity and lots of guns. I'm just gonna get him back.
Or you could get a dog. Hey everyone, I'm John.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're here to review the 2016 comedy by Key and Peele, Keanu.
Yes.
This movie follows two friends, played by Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key, and one of them is going through a really bad breakup and suddenly they discover a cat, and he just falls in love with the cat. But then suddenly the cat gets stolen from him, and on his desperate quest to get him back, they get taken on this
huge adventure filled with many gang
odd
activities.
Twists and turns and just a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, and those are activities. It's a fun time.
It's a fun time. Now, I was really excited going into this because I love the show Key and Peele, the sketch show.
Of course, yeah.
But one of my fears was that this would kind of just feel like
a long drawn out skit.
A gratuitously drawn out skit.
Right.
Because you look back at a lot of the movies made based on SNL skits and they feel like that.
Right,
They feel just like hour and a half long, way more than justified long sketches.
Right.
I was really happy this didn't feel like that.
No, it actually had a nice story and then it branched off from there. And really likable characters, actually. I liked all the characters, Key and Peele, respectively, and even the supporting ones as well. I really liked everyone.
I mean, it was an hour and 40 minutes, and it felt like it should be an hour and 40 minutes. It was a real movie with, story and the characters, not just a sketch that they took, and instead of making it 5 minutes, made it an hour and a half.
Right.
And I really love that. Now, of course, Key and Peele have great chemistry, as always. They really just comedically play off each other almost perfectly, I think.
Of course, yeah. With the duo like that, it's pretty much set that that you're gonna enjoy their chemistry and whatever the jokes they make.
Yeah.
No matter even if the jokes are bad, you're gonna enjoy their performances and their chemistry at least.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
They definitely brought all their talents to this full-on.
Absolutely.
It turned out great. Really, you mentioned this before, but all the characters just surprisingly strong and likable.
Yeah, even from the one-time bit characters, they're all really funny and enjoyable, and they have their own stories to go along with that. And I'm really glad that I saw that.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I didn't like as much about this movie, which didn't even really detract from the experience, but it's worth mentioning, is that the story was generally pretty basic. I mean, it wasn't horribly generic, but there's definitely nothing new or innovative.
Right. I saw it just as another fish out of water story that we saw, that we've seen a million other times in some other movies, and just some general cliches and things here and there. Nothing too original in the story, but still, like you said, it didn't detract from what it brought, and I still really enjoyed what I saw.
I mean, we've seen the story a million times of, guys get caught up in criminal activity that I didn't think they would be, and now there's a whole crazy adventure.
Right.
And it was done well, but we have seen this story before, for sure. Now, one flaw I have, small flaw that's kind of unexpected, I think this movie could have been a little funnier.
You say that, and I actually agree with you a little bit. I didn't burst out laughing as much as I would have liked. There were maybe a few times there where I was, but I think the strength of this movie is more to do with the writing.
I mean, this movie was funny, and there were not a lot of jokes that missed, and there were a lot that hit, but it just felt like it could have packed a better comedic punch. It just didn't really feel like it made me laugh as much as I would have expected it to coming from Key and Peele. Judging from their show and everything, it felt like it would have been more dense in terms of jokes and everything.
What I think it is maybe is when you have a short that's 5 minutes, maybe the jokes are more prominent, but when it's stretched out over that period of time and they're placed a little more, they're spaced out a little more, maybe it's harder to, get the timing right.
Don't get me wrong, this is a funny movie.
Very funny.
But I just felt like there could have been more in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Ethan, end of the day, all things considered, what do you give Keanu out of 5 stars?
Well, I enjoyed Keanu for what it was, from the story cliches and just the generic story that we started out with. I thought it was fine. I thought it was an enjoyable experience. I loved the chemistry between Key and Peele. I loved the characters, really. And, it was a fun time nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and give Keanu a 3 out of 5 stars.
I really had a fun time with Keanu. It wasn't amazing. The story was generally pretty basic, and it wasn't quite have the comedic punch I thought it would. But I still had a great time with it. Didn't really feel like a drawn-out sketch, which I loved. Key and Peele were great, as always, and really good just writing and characters, surprisingly. So I'll give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Alright guys, let us know if you've seen Keanu and what you think about it. And also give us feedback on our review. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are we horrible? Are we awesome? Let us know that too.
We probably are. Awful.
Awful. Horrible. But and also make sure to follow us on Twitter @StubMasters and to subscribe if you want to see more content. Alright, I'm John.
I'm Ethan.
Have a great day.